Morning, I'm Doug Schoen. I'm here with our senior producer, Martin Hinton, fellow political insider, John LeBoutelier. Pat Caddell's on home leave in Charleston, but he will be back Sunday night, 7:30, with us on Political Insiders on the Fox News Channel. It'll be Pat, John, and myself, as we are and have been for a while now, on FNC with Harris Faulkner. But this morning we're going to talk about the Republicans. John, as I think the only Republican here, what did you make of the announcement last week of Rand Paul, Ted Cruz before, and right now, imminently, Marco Rubio?
I think the race is developing very quickly. I think it's accelerating at a lightning quick speed. We've had these things since we were all last together. We have Ted Cruz suddenly announcing 4 super PACs, $31 million, which rocked the Republican world, that this kind of money is now in the hands of a Tea Party candidate. They've never been financed like this. And if there are 2 people who should be scared about this, Jeb Bush a little bit, because he's establishment, and Scott Walker should be afraid, because Ted Cruz will be gunning for his Scott Walker's Tea Party support. He'll try to break that away from Scott Walker. And Jeb Bush, with his $130 million we hear he's going to have, he'll be going after Walker's establishment support. Boom, 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 sideways, they'll chop Scott Walker down. That's big. Rand Paul's announcement, I think it was a rocky announcement. I think that the story became not what does Rand Paul stand for, but Rand Paul, does he have the temperament to be president? Is he too snippy with the media?
Yeah, that hurt him.
Martin, you produced television for a living and have for a pretty long time. What was your take on Rand Paul's announcement?
Well, I thought that he has a very strong base, and we see that all the time when we discuss him on the air and online. And I think that it seems to me the big goal out of an announcement was to warm up to those people who already like him and would likely already vote for him, and then also make himself appealing to new people. And that's why you go on sort of NBC or wherever else. And to have what I joked with a friend were Christie-style moments where you seem a little bit unprepared for a tough question or unwilling to cede the time.
It looked to me like he was spoiling for a fight. Did you have that reaction?
Yeah, there was an element of that about him, I guess a tone of hostility and anger. And maybe that's to play to the base and the mainstream media reputation and that sort of thing. But I think that, again, when you're looking to broaden yourself for winning a general election where you need a lot more people who aren't inclined to agree with everything you say but want some of what you say, it's not ideal. And that's maybe unfair and unfortunate for him, but it is what it is. You know, I mean, you can't take it back.
My sense was he was looking for a fight, he got it, and it hurt him. But, John, I got to ask you, and I'll ask Martin, too, Jeb Bush, where does he stand in your judgment?
Same that I've said all along. It's not going to make it. It's not happening. It's not connecting with the voters. We've got this Bloomberg poll, which we don't have to put on here, but I was telling you and Martin off the air about it, where they asked the question differently than most polls. They asked, who are you likely to vote for and who are you very unlikely or refuse to vote for? And in the Republican case, they asked Republican voters and independents. And the highest I would never vote for was for Jeb Bush. 42% of Republicans and independents said I would never vote for Jeb Bush. That's a big problem for
Martin,
him.
how do you see Jeb Bush?
Well, I mean, from a more visceral point of view, we talked about Hillary earlier today. I don't get the sense that he's really eager to be president. Like, you know, we've discussed it here before, and I've said here before, it's one of the hardest races maybe you can run, and you have to be energized at the beginning of that race. So you have to have a sort of game face on. And I get this sneaky feeling a lot of why he's doing it is because it's possible, because the money's there. And a lot of what's going to happen with the GOP is going to be about the fact that there's money to spend. We're going to spend it attacking each other when we should be figuring out a way to make people who already have doubts about us like us. Give that sort of broader message about why this country's great, why it can be great for you. Because a lot of people have concerns about that sort of thing with regard to the economy specifically. You know?
Yeah, I must tell you, my take on Jeb is given that he is mired around 12, 13, 15%, whichever poll you look at, and his brother at a comparable time, and I guess it was 99, was 45, 50%. Candidly, if I were the Jeb Bush campaign, I'd be deeply worried that he doesn't have more support and more traction. I think you're right, Martin, that he has yet to demonstrate passion. I think, John, you may be overstating the case that he's not going to do it because there'll be literally hundreds of millions trying to get the nomination. But it would also be a mistake not to take your comment seriously because there's no indication in the numbers or in what's going on that the level of enthusiasm he hoped to engender with his, quote, shock and awe effort was doing either.
Yeah. And that $31 million that went to Ted Cruz is really, in my view, partly anti-Jeb Bush.
Oh, I think
that
it
the
is.
split in the party is now in the financing in the party. The bundlers, they're now anti-Bush bundlers who say, I'm not letting that nomination go to him.
Let me stop there and say we will be back 7:30 Sunday night on Political Insiders on the Fox News Report with Harris Faulkner. It'll be myself, Pat Cadell, John LeBoutelier. We'll see you 7:30 on Sunday. Thanks for watching.